All right, man. I'm ready.
Ready?
Let's get it.
Salud.
Salud. Yeah, Cesar. ¿Qué onda?
¿Qué pasó, man? ¿Cómo andamos?
Bien, bien. ¿Por qué vienes tan feo, güey?
No,
it's like something. I don't know.
vengo
¿Te
ahora.
peinaste mal?
No, me peiné bien, me alisté bien, me puse la camisa.
Oh, es
La
lo que
mejor
es, güey.
camisa
No,
que,
that thing, no.
que hay en todo el mundo. Y estoy listo para el pod.
¿Mejor que la del Real Madrid?
Sí, doble, casi el
doble.
triple. Let's go.
Look up that viral video, folks. There's some dude that's completely out of his mind saying that América es doble lo grande que Real Madrid.
At least, he said.
At least he said por lo menos, dice. Con unos huevitos lo dice. I respect that. No, yeah. But yeah, this is going to be a good one, you guys, because this weekend we got El Clasico Nacional. We'll go over it a little bit later. But yeah, welcome back, folks. Episode 68.
Jeez.
You know what the next one is. We'll just leave it at that.
Hey.
Yeah, my name is Omar. I'm here with Cesar. We got an action-packed agenda for you folks. Big shout-out that I want to give at first is to my co-ed team, Balls Deep FC. You already know. We got the championship. We won against all odds.
A ver,
Everyone doubted us. But that's what happens when you doubt us, dog. They don't want to see us win.
They don't, man.
Yeah, so we were losing 1-0 against a very talented team, a very good team. But we were holding our own. We had possession for a good while. It looked like we got it. And then towards the end of the game, when they scored the 1-0, it got a little bit, it opened up the game, which I didn't love because they're fast.
Yeah.
We chilled it out a little bit, but we just couldn't score. And then the last play of the game, long throw in, fool from our team chests it and just throws a Hail Mary without even looking at the goal, shoots it at the goal, and the keeper muffs it, bounces at the keeper, he slaps it in. Goal.
Jeez.
Penalties, and it was Carlos' time.
It was El Dibu Martinez.
El Dibu. It was like in baseball when Mariano Rivera for the Yankees, the closer would come on. They play Enter Sandman by Metallica. Game over.
Jeez.
Stopped 2 of the penalties. 2 of them hit the post. De puro miedo.
Dang.
De que él los iba a tapar. And then, game over. We won in penalties, and we got to bask in the glory of drinking Trulies.
In the parking lot.
No, because they give you $150 gift card.
Uh-huh.
So we got like a round of Trulies, vámonos. Unos Pacíficos, IPA.
Hey, es
Sí,
todo.
a disfrutar.
Congrats. And, the last minute of the game still got 60 seconds, and you have to have a badass goalie.
That's
to
true.
come up big.
It was one of those, do you believe in miracles type of fucking plays. It was awesome. I love it. Shout out to the squad. And I want to hear some good news from your team. You guys are coming into playoffs.
Yeah, so we've been doing 6v6, a little indoor place in the hometown, and we're in second place right now.
I did hear that you blocked Ruli's penalty, a consistent listener to the pod. So
yeah, man,
took him to town.
Came in big. I mean, it was a PK kind of off of either mine and my defender's mistake, but just stood and waited, and then he faked me, and that's when I knew I had him.
You got him.
Yeah.
Put him in your pocket. I hope you're listening, Raul. All right, folks, let's get going. Like I said, action-packed agenda. We finally got some justice in Spain. We got some drama out of Manchester United with some of their players. We got an ex-Manchester United player having some drama. In Chivas, we'll go over a little bit more of an ethical question, and we'll take it around the leagues. We got every federation having their games. We got Euro qualifiers, we got CONMEBOL, we got CONCACAF, we got friendlies, we got MLS still playing for some reason.
Jeez.
And yeah, we'll bring it home with what we recommend you guys watch over the weekend. Let's get it, Cesar.
Let's do it.
All right, in top news, as it should be, Luis Rubiales resigned and will now be appearing in court for his unacceptable behavior with Jennifer Hermoso from the Spanish national team, as he should. Let the courts figure out what exactly happened. I can't be kissing fools on the job, kissing people on the job and still want my job. So, yeah, we'll see it at a court of his peers.
Yeah, I think these are great news coming out of Spain. He's facing sexual assault charges and also coercion charges. So he was trying to buy off the family of Hermoso, trying to pay him off to keep quiet on this.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, he's guilty by the looks of it, but there's still going to be, the courts involved, and hopefully there's some justice for this family.
Yeah, there needs to be something. In lighter news, we got Jadon Sancho at Manchester United calling himself a scapegoat at Manchester United for the issues that the team has been having, some of the difficulties that this team has been having. I don't even see him play much, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But he removed his post. This was on Instagram, to my understanding. And he's been now apparently having special training, special talk with Erik ten Hag.
That whole team right now, man, is just having so many problems left and right. And this just Jadon Sancho has had a tumultuous time ever since he got to Manchester United. We haven't seen him shine. He was supposed to be this newcomer, this young English player that was going to save Manchester United, but it's just nothing has happened. And I don't know if he's necessarily being the scapegoat. I think the fans are just fed up with him not being able to perform. But you also have things like what's going on with Harry Maguire, how he's getting torn up on social media and stuff. So for him to just come out almost kind of like out of the left field, like I get what he's coming out, what he's saying, but it's not necessarily him getting the most hate right now.
Yeah, I mean, that United team has so much going on.
Yeah.
Maguire's coming out, and more of the pundits saying that
Southgate also came
Southgate,
out.
it was the coach. It was Southgate. Yeah, Southgate came out and said that that Maguire gets way too much hate compared to anybody else, right? Which is true. He gets a lot of fucking hate, especially since he's been doing. It's like the running meme that he does very well for this national team, but does terrible for United, right? But then you got Jadon Sancho now. You got Mason Greenwood, that whole drama.
Yep.
You got Anthony now.
Yep.
It's the whole damn squad.
And then you have a whole bunch of players injured, so it just adds salt on all these different things that are going on. It's like the team is not performing, and the fans, like, understandably in a way, are looking for somebody to blame. It's like they tried blaming the Glazers. The Glazers brought in people or Ten Hag, and then Ten Hag brought players. And now these players aren't performing, and it's just a big mumbo jumbo of just shit going on.
Yeah, I would have thought that Ten Hag would have been able to get this locker room under control a little bit better, but he's had some crazy personalities in there, starting from Cristiano Ronaldo last year.
Yeah,
like it's crazy how much I would think he has to deal with these players. And at the end of the day, you need players with big ticket prices to perform. Jadon Sancho was a 73 million euro signing from Borussia Dortmund. If you want to do these antics additional to your performances, I think that's where you can kind of let it slip.
Yeah.
But you're performing badly, and at the same time you're doing all these things. I don't know. I think it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, more disaster.
More disaster than is already happening. They're not even doing that bad, like overall, but you're just shooting yourself in the foot with all these things, like everything that the players are doing. They're still, 11, 2 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible.
Not terrible. You're not in relegation.
No.
You're not Everton.
And during those games, you didn't look so bad either. It's like not to be disrespectful or anything, but just play the game, man, and let that talk. Like, You don't have to come out here. And then did you see Rashford like his post on Twitter?
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I want Rashford's getting involved too.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy in the world, right? Like so many donations and cares about sustainability and the earth and stuff.
But I feel like he's been through it. Like, man, just tell your boy, hey, man, just like take it down.
Yeah.
Like, we'll figure something out.
It's got to be the leader.
Yeah.
They're losing so many players. Somebody's got to try to keep the squad together.
Yeah.
Not break it apart. All right. Our next news is an ex-Manchester United drama queen as well, Paul Pogba. He tests positive for testosterone.
He should have just said it was in the meat like Ochoa did.
For real, huh? Just blame it on something, like lembuterol and la carne asada, and I don't know. He likes Mexico. Just say you visited Mexico and he had a couple tacos de asada, and I don't know what happened the next morning. Yeah, it's kind of wild. He's on a provisional suspension, but it could lead to a ban of up to 4 years.
Yeah, that's
It never
crazy.
does. But, I mean, it's kind of scary to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, just reports are saying that he kind of wants to give up on soccer. That all this fame has caused so many problems for him, and all the money coming involved with the fame is like he just rather become a normal person and forget about all the money and fame and everything and just live a normal life. Like,
That's what he wants to do.
yeah,
I mean, sometimes I don't blame the players. Right? Like, it's going to be
yeah.
fucking exhausting.
And I feel like he's been in the spotlight for so long, even with Manchester United.
He was a
It's like-
teenager in
Yeah,
the
he
academy,
was-
and they were like, I remember him going viral with his like amazing goals that he would score, and then he went on loan to Juventus, killed it, came back.
And-
This kid was one of the most famous footballers in the world as a teenager. That's got to be a lot. But yeah, he admitted to Juventus that he took nutritional supplements, not knowing they contain testosterone. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, I wonder, like, what's going on if he's already having like a lack of motivation and lack of like, I don't know, like you said, if he's already thinking of giving up the game and stuff like that. I wonder if that's what led him to be like, okay, I need to boost my performance, and maybe led to him taking some stuff that he shouldn't have. Some news out of the Messi camp, outside of Inter Miami, finally back with Argentina now. But he was making some headlines because he said El Cuti Romero, Sergio Romero from Tottenham, is the best defender in the world.
Jeez, those are some bold claims, Messi.
That's kind of wild, but Cuti has been pretty solid at Tottenham for the squad that they have, and he's been scoring.
He has.
It's kind of wild.
But
I don't have him in fantasy.
But
Pisses me off.
You have him?
No, I don't, and it pisses me off.
I don't know if I have.
2 goals in the season already in the 4 matches.
To go as far to say that, he's the best one in the world, like, if he is the best one in the world, why is he at Tottenham?
I'm dead. Oh, shit. If he is the best one in the world, why isn't his name Virgil van Dijk?
Right. Why isn't Rudiger at Real Madrid? Or why isn't, someone else?
Militao is solid too.
Militao,
Like Ronald Araujo in that back line is fucking monster. Jules Conde, like
Stones.
yeah, City's defender Ruben Diaz is a
Fuck.
fucking monster. Like yeah, I don't know. I think he's jumping a couple of fences here too. Like que se calme el cabrón un poco, but he's having an amazing season.
He is. Yes. I'll give
Maybe
him
he
that.
knows something we don't so far, but
What, that he's taking Clembuterol también?
no, that like he's about to ball out the whole season.
Well,
If he's on pace that he is right now, and Tottenham makes top 4, I mean maybe like top 5 defenders in the world, but it's a little rough.
yeah, to say he's the best, I don't know about that one.
That's like when you're Sunday league and your homies over there warming up and they're like, hey, is he good? No, güey, ese güey es cabrón.
Te va a partir su madre, güey.
Ahorita se mete, güey, y va a ganar el partido fácil.
Ahorita se va a convertir en Antuna, güey.
Bro, he used to play first division allá en
Pero la
México.
rodilla, se chingó la rodilla.
That's exactly what Messi's doing here. All right, more on the ethical side of things, like I had mentioned to you. Not a headline, but it was kind of going viral on Twitter. Yael Padilla is being criticized because he showed up to practice de las Chivas. This is the 17-year-old Chivas Wonder kid. Showed up after purchasing a brand new car. And he was stunting. Pulled up in an A-class Mercedes-Benz worth 800K pesos, which is about $50K, $50,000. And he pulled up to the practice in that, and people lost their shit.
Well, it's a little hatchback.
Yeah, it's a hatchback. It's a nice A-class, classy Mercedes. Nothing, I think, crazy. It's not a Lamborghini. It's not nothing else, but it's pretty expensive, especially in Mexico, right? I think that's pretty similar lineup of cars that maybe Alexis Vega might drive. I think Alexis Vega, I think he actually drives a G-Wagon.
He does.
Fuck, never mind. Fuck, that fool's balling.
That fool is.
Why would you leave Mexico if you're driving a G-Wagon already? Why?
Fuck no.
That's another thing, a discussion for a different day.
That's why he's a fraud.
But yeah, so they were saying that ya el Padilla ya no anda descalzo el muchacho. Because there were jokes that at first that he was a little broke kid, that he was hungry, that people were just saying that like now he's got money, right? So it made the headlines that this dude pulled up in a Mercedes-Benz and that now the money's getting to his head. So now my question for you, Cesar, it comes down to it. Are the kids to be blamed when they spend their money on flashy things like this? And does it directly lead to them like becoming sobrevalorados? Like, do they become overrated at this point? Do they kind of take a step back in their career because they don't have that hunger? What do you think?
I think the question is, are the kids? I think that's the key part. They're still kids, right? So now my question is, do the kids have a good support system that helps them keep their feet on the ground and measured and say, yes, you're 17 and go buy yourself, you deserve it, go buy yourself a nice car. But on Monday, when you get to practice, you need to keep working your ass off. Do they have somebody like that? Do they have a mentor, a parent who's going to help them through that process of, developing mentally so they can still be hungry and keep going and trying their best every day at practice? Like, that's what they need. I don't care if Alexis Vega drives a G-Wagon. What I care is he trying to better his health? Is he trying to go to Europe? Is he showing it on the field?
But that's what I think a lot of people are afraid of, right? Is because they see, I think the two biggest players in Mexico, Alexis Vega and Antuna, that they stunt.
Yeah.
Alexis Vega has a G-Wagon and went viral for picking up like some dude at a Starbucks and taking him to practice.
Random,
Antuna, there's that viral image with him and his girlfriend, Gucci, top fucking feet to fucking head, right? And not even like the subtle Gucci stuff with just the fucking stripes, but like the fucking gold, everything.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of people get scared because they see those dudes. Why would you ever leave that lifestyle? Right? And then you see a 17-year-old kid who you think is like, oh, dude, this kid's next up. They were comparing him to Chicharito, right? Chicharito didn't get big money. He left before he got big money.
Yeah.
In Chivas. But then you see him pull up in Carro del Año, and the first thing that you think of is like, oh shit, this kid got big money. He got his signing bonus. He got the next contract or whatever. Is it going to stunt his growth? Because now he's like, all right, I'm getting paid. I can take a little step back. Right? When people are like, no, this kid needs to take 1 to 2 to 3 steps now to stay in the starting squad over some other stars on the team and make it to the national team or go to Europe or do something, right? That's the big fear that people have.
Yeah, and I mean, I get the fear, but I still feel like just because you got a contract, it comes down to your mentality. Like whether you want to take that next step, whether you want to keep on working, and whether you have the right support system to help you realize that in case you're kind of falling off and buying these fancy and forgetting about what the real goal is.
But imagine some of these kids, like you mentioned Chaco Jimenez, because he's a really good support system for Santi. A lot of these kids, their parents did not make it professional. They don't have the same... they don't even have any idea of what they're experiencing themselves. A lot of them are poor. A lot of them are middle class in Mexico, right? And I mean, to see your kid be able to afford a Mercedes-Benz is huge. But like to be able to then counsel them on how to take care of their funds is a completely different story.
Yeah. And I get that. And a good example to that would be Edson Alvarez.
Yeah, he seems to be a good one.
He would get to practices in a taxi. Right, he wouldn't have when he started. I think he was like 16 or 17 when he started, like in the first team. He would go to practice in a taxi.
Yeah,
right. And then I think he left when he was like around 20 or 21. So he still had a couple years. I'm pretty sure he got a better contract, but he had like maybe his parents didn't become professional players, but his mentality was never, oh, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors. Yes. Getting a big paycheck is maybe a downside, or it can be a really good thing for your family, but it's managing that money and knowing your objectives long term.
Yeah. I don't think it could ever be seen as a bad thing because these kids need that money, right?
Right.
Their families need that money. A lot of them use it to put their families on, right? To buy your mama the house they wanted, right? To pay off their bills, do whatever you can. That's always huge, right? I think the biggest thing now that time will tell is like, what does he do with this new environment that he's in? He's no longer fighting for that contract. You might already have that contract now if he's getting this new car. What do you do at that next level? You have money. You can continue to make this consistent money, or are you going to try to break through to the next level? Either make bigger money at Chivas or the next level, which would be get a European contract, right? You got to mentor these kids. Hopefully, Fernando Hierro provides good mentorship for these kids. All right, Cesar, let's take it around the leagues. I don't have this in the show notes, but let's start off with this. Sidemen versus YouTube All-Stars was this weekend.
Yo, I was watching that.
And I already know you're a huge Sidemen fan.
Yeah, the Sidemen. I've been watching the Sidemen fans, bro, since I was probably a sophomore in high school. I was like around 10, 12 years ago.
Was it the same dudes like KSI in them?
Yeah, it was the same dudes.
I wasn't that big into them, but I mean, it's fun to see them now. Now they're all just like ultra billionaires, or they're unhinged, or they're, I don't know, on a different platform.
Yeah, I mean, in England, they're YouTube themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It was just cool to watch, man. Like, it was fun to watch. Ethan Payne, Bazinga, scored the goal in the West Ham field as a West Ham supporter.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was balling.
There were a couple of pretty good dudes. He was pretty good. And then that dude Manny scored a hat trick. Chris MD from the YouTube All-Stars was a pretty solid midfielder. I saw him. Chunks was okay until he got tired.
Yeah, that's it.
And then
he has good techs, but he
completely lost all form and ability the moment that he got tired. But I mean, it was a fun game. We could keep it pretty short, just because there's not much tactically to talk about or anything. But just some funny shit, mainly from the keepers.
Yeah,
KSI got a shot on goal, blocks it, turns into his own goal.
Yeah,
and scores an own goal by rolling into his goal.
That was jokes.
That was pretty funny. And then XQC on the other side got the second to lowest rating ever. I don't know how you could get any lower than him, but apparently someone got a 0.1 once in an official game.
Yeah.
But he got a 0.3.
Yeah, that was insane.
That's wild.
And then Footmob on Twitter was like, we did some digging, and actually you're not the lowest scored.
He's probably, damn it. No, but I mean, brother, he played horrible.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have like a little bit better keepers to keep it.
Well,
I
bet you Chris MD can do okay in goal, and that would have stopped at least like 5 at the goals.
Yeah, and then Theo Baker got injured, and he was another like really strong player. And then Speed missed the PK.
Yeah, Speed got an assist, but he missed a PK, and he kept trying to do his typical grab it and then run down the line and outrun everybody. He's fast.
Yeah.
And he's getting better. I think he's overall getting better because he is training, and he's all about soccer now, apparently, on Ronaldo.
And then he interviewed Rio Ferdinand.
Oh, I saw that.
And then they were both barking.
I think Rio Ferdinand's just trying to jump on the hype a little bit because he's doing like kid trainings, like youth academy training in the UK. So I think he's trying to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah, rejuvenate his image.
Yeah, but it was a good game. It was entertaining. I wish it was closer. It almost was. It was like 7-5, and YouTube All-Stars almost scored one to get it close. But I don't know. Maybe they need to train up a little more.
Yeah, hopefully they do it again next year and we see some better competition.
True. All right, let's get it going. We got the Euro qualifiers. Damn, we talked about that before. Euro qualifiers. We're fucked. We got France, Scotland, and Portugal are the only teams that are perfect so far.
Who would have thought Scotland would have been perfect?
Yeah, what's Scotland doing in there?
I don't know, but
I'm surprised England wasn't, but they got a draw against Ukraine. That kind of did them dirty. But yeah, Scotland's the big surprise. And then they ended up losing to England pretty bad, 3-1 in a friendly just yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was like the 130th time they face each other. That's the first ever official football match between two countries.
Damn.
England against Scotland back in like the late 1800s.
4 scores.
Yeah, man.
And 7 years. Get it, scores, goalless. No, Norway is struggling a bit. Honestly, that squad needs to be doing better than they are doing.
I think we've called it out before on the pod.
They need to break out in a tournament.
You have good players. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, they're right outside of the last spot for qualification. But who are you going to eliminate? Scotland with 15 points, double your points, or just overall Spain? You're not going to eliminate Spain.
Have you seen Spain?
Yeah, you're not going to eliminate Spain. But Scotland is already too far, honestly. But yeah, this Norway team needs to break out. Obviously, they're probably going to make this World Cup that's coming up because literally everyone's making this World Cup.
Yeah.
But I would think they need to get into a major tournament. And I thought that they were going to do something this Euros. I thought they were going to fight versus Scotland to get in there. But Scotland's just breaking out. McTominay's breaking out the CR7 moves or something. He's killing it.
He may not be killing it too much in Manchester United, but for Scotland, he's like one of their top scorers.
Yeah, he puts the team on his back.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my squad.
These are my boys.
Yeah, England tied versus Ukraine, like I mentioned. That was a pretty tight game. But then Ukraine lost to Italy. I thought Ukraine was going to beat Italy. That was
same.
It was tight, but Ukraine couldn't get back into it.
Yeah, that first goal was off of a mistake too, so they kind of shot themselves in the foot there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we had called out to watch the North Macedonia versus Italy game, and they got a draw.
They still can't with North Macedonia.
North Macedonia's got their number, dog. But I mean, Italy's doing fine. They're in second place now after beating Ukraine, so they're in control of their own destiny at this point.
For sure.
You got a note here: Albania, top of their group. They're ranked 65th.
Yeah, man. They're putting in work. Albania is beating Poland, who just got out of the round of 16 at the World Cup, and Poland sits fourth.
But tell me that group's not the easiest.
I mean, it is. It should be for Poland and either Albania or Czechia.
Yeah.
But Moldova got a win over Poland in the previous Euro window. So Poland just fired their coach. So hopefully they pick it back up, and they got 4 games left.
Yeah, they got to pull something together because right now they have 6 points.
Or 3 games left.
They got 6 points right now. Czechia in second with 8 points, so it's still reachable. And they play Faroe Islands next, who's completely dead in the water. So
yeah, poor Faroe Islands.
They'll get something. It's going to get tight, and I would not think Poland would be down there. All right, let's move on to La Conmebol, Cesar. Argentina, they beat Ecuador 1-0, which I thought was saying more like better things about Ecuador than it did about Argentina until that Messi free kick. Don't foul anybody with Messi on their team outside of the box.
For real. I think Ecuador, I don't know if a lot of people are not paying attention to Ecuador, but they're gearing up to be a really strong team for 2026. And they look really good right now, but I can't wait to see them next summer at the Copa America.
They're very good, and they're always known as these like physical, fast, counterattacking teams. I remember one of their old coaches used to be like, I don't want tiki-taka, I want 1, 2, 3 touches, y a ver si me alcanzas, he would say. Yeah. And they were like that, right? With Antonio Valencia and all these freaking high flyer players, right? And they still have amazing players, but they're very tactical as well. They're good at attacking. They have good strikers. I don't know. This is definitely a team to watch. It just sucks that Argentina got that 1 goal on them, or else they could have had maybe a good upset or a good draw. But then Argentina went and they smacked Bolivia 3-0 in La Paz.
Yeah, man. Argentina Bolivia is probably one of the weaker teams in South America, but to go do it at such a high altitude, I saw fans were outside their hotels throwing up fireworks, just hitting the drums, trying to get them to not get much sleep, but they still went out there and killed it.
Yeah, 11,000 feet of elevation in La Paz.
Yeah, man.
Players were being given oxygen pumpers to get more oxygen in their lungs, and they were being recommended Viagra to help with their blood flow.
Sheesh. That's crazy. I think La Paz is the highest altitude capital in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's insane that they play in such a high altitude.
The Bolivian team is so used to it.
Yeah.
It's nothing to them. Even in
Libertadores.
Libertadores, it's such a big benefit for them, advantage for them to get to be playing at home. And I thought it was going to be a closer game than 3-0.
Same,
But
dude.
apparently the Argentina team was able to prepare correctly and to put up 3 on Bolivia. I mean, that's no joke. ¿Qué más? We got Uruguay versus Chile. Uruguay won 3-1. That was Marcelo Bielsa's first showing out in the competitive game. It looked good. And your boy, Sebastián Cáceres, took out your other boy, Bruno Valdés.
Bro, they're injuring themselves when we got the Clasico Nacional this weekend.
Bro, it looked personal.
It did look personal.
He's like, wait, you did that shit to me in training? I'm going to toma la cabrón.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to take out his ankle, his knee, like...
He went in hard. And Cáceres got that face mask right now, huh?
Yeah, he's got that Batman
He's
look.
like, I got fucking shit to help me out. I'm going to cabrón. I don't give a fuck.
Marcelo Bielsa's team looked really well. They look younger, better, faster, with more like combinations. And they went to Ecuador, ended up losing 2-1.
Because Ecuador's strong, man. I'm telling you that. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them because they lost 1-0 versus Argentina, which is not that bad. To beat Uruguay is a big deal. And I think it's pretty big on Ecuador. I think they're the ones to look out for this CONMEBOL qualifiers.
And they got that Kendry Baez.
Yeah, the 16-year-old.
16-year-old. Like, they're bringing in young players, getting them ready.
This is the kid that got signed to Chelsea, no?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but going back to Ecuador, I think they're looking really good. But unfortunately, they get their 3 points deducted from this match against Uruguay because they incorrectly fielded Byron Castillo last qualifiers. They did not get the proper documentation to get him on the field. They put him out there. And now, even though they had a 1 in their win column, they got 0 points.
That's rough.
But at least now, they already took a bite out of that bullet, so now they can rack up as many points as they can. Brazil, looking like Brazil.
Yeah, they're looking like old Brazil, the Brazilian flair, the Rio de Janeiro.
They're looking fun. They beat Bolivia 5-1. Everyone in Neymar was scoring in that. Neymar got a goal, and he looked like he was going to cry. Is one of his first goals with Brazil in who knows how long.
Because he also missed the PK.
He missed the PK. Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, so then once he scored that, he was like, "Oh, I'm relieved. Like, I'm super happy." And good for him, Sucks shitty, missing a PK hall roll. I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm dead. I wouldn't know about that, dude.
I don't know about saving them.
And then, they came back and they beat Peru 1-0 in Lima, which is a pretty hostile environment to go into. So, Brazil's looking good. Brazil's looking all right. I don't think they're looking like undisputed contenders or anything just yet because Argentina's still looking strong. Watch out for my Ecuador.
Yep.
But it's going to get good.
Yeah, it's going to get good. And Venezuela, shout out Aquiles, also got a dub over this window.
Yeah, to see Venezuela get an early win like this and to be in the World Cup, ones that are qualifying for the World Cup is great. But they are also getting more World Cup qualifying spots in CONMEBOL. 6 out of the 10 go directly to the World Cup. And then a 7th spot is what goes to play the qualifiers in repechaje. For only 3 teams to have 0 chance of making the World Cup in CONMEBOL is wild.
Yeah, and CONMEBOL has some crazy teams.
In CONCACAF, we got the early stages of Nations League going on. Nobody really is paying attention to that. The one thing that we did want to call out, El Salvador struggling.
Yeah, El Salvador.
Our Salvi homies.
I mean, they've been struggling for a while. I think it's been like 30 years since they've qualified. But like when Hugo Perez came in, we thought everything was going to change. They brought scouting. They brought new players. They found players in like Scandinavia that were Salvadorian somewhere. So everybody got really excited. And just this weekend, he got sacked.
Yep. After 2 pretty gnarly losses in Nations League, you would think they would be working their way in pretty easily out of Nations League, but they lost 2-0 versus Guatemala, which was huge. How much Guatemala is progressing.
Yeah.
Under Luis Fernando Tena. That's big. And speaking of finding players out of nowhere, Luis Fernando Tena is doing that. They got a player out of Derby County, Nathaniel Mendez Lang, 31-year-old right winger from Derby County. But then El Salvador lost 3-2 to Trinidad and Tobago, who hasn't been good in a decade.
Yeah, they haven't been good for a while either. So it's really surprising watching them lose, like El Salvador lose.
Yep, and now they sacked him. And you had to know here he went on a rant, right?
Yeah, he actually went viral by saying, yo, like, you guys expect me to turn around this federation, this team, in a snap of a finger when we've had problems for a while since the last time we qualified. It's like players weren't given like quality food, weren't given quality treatment, supplies, recovery, equipment, like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like we came in and we demanded for those things, and just now we're getting them. Like, we're working our way up. It's like you guys are. He was talking to los periodistas, to the people interviewing him. Is like, you guys know more than anything. Like, we're nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to build something out of nothing here.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he is dual national, right?
Yeah, he's
American,
Salvadoran born.
Yeah. So like you would have thought if somebody were to make a change, especially in the logistical side, maybe bring up the quality of certain things that are outside of kind of the intangibles from the soccer world, it would maybe be somebody like him who's experienced it at the U.S. men's national team level. But if he couldn't even get that done, that's a little bit crazy. And now he's out of the job, right? Yeah. I don't know if he could have worked more with the government to get more funding or something. And I saw some Twitter folks being like, if we get a different coach, they're not going to want outside players to play. They're going to want players from the league in El Salvador, which they see as like a big risk, right? So it's going to get interesting to see who they get. What's the future of that El Salvador team, because they have a bunch of ballers.
Yeah, they do. One of them being Roldan, one of the Roldan brothers plays for them. And it's just like a lot of people on Twitter were like, yo, it's like the same thing over and over. Like, we get a coach, they don't do good. Then we get another coach, they don't do good. But the coach is not the problem. The problem is we don't have a good league. We don't equip our players to do well. Like, when are we going to learn?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of La Federación Mexicana.
Yeah, except La Federación Mexicana has a endless pot of money to dip into here in the U.S. whenever they come and play. Speaking of them, let's go right into them. We got some friendlies going on. Mexico had 2. The U.S. had 2 that we'll go into. Mexico tied Australia 2-2 after being down 2-0. I mean, it was 1-0 for a bit. Santi missed a penalty kick. And then they go down 2-0. And then they were able to come back with 2 unanswered to tie the game. We got a lot of newcomers in this game, which set them up for the second game. We got Cesar Huerta. We got Jordi Cortizo. Got his debut in this game at 27 years old. God damn. Yeah. Speaking of the dude from Ecuador 16, this is 27. What do you think of the game? What were your thoughts of this game?
The Australia game, I thought El Penal de Romo was a dumb penalty, right? It's just why create something like that? Y luego, how was the other goal? I don't remember.
The first one was a header by a super tall center back, no? From
Leicester.
Yeah.
Que le ganó a Johan Vázquez.
Johan se le ganó. Which interesting thing is Johan's never been scored on when working with Cesar Montes as his other center back. That game was with Edson Alvarez at the center back. So that fact still stays true. But he had to get the big-ass motherfucker on the other team. Almost 2 metros de altura, 198 centimeters, which is like 6'6".
Yeah. Johan Vázquez on like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
No, but I mean, es un cuento de nunca acabarse. De que a México le metan de tiro de esquina. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, set pieces, corners. It doesn't matter who they play. Like, they're so vulnerable when coming from set pieces.
It's the height thing. It's also like an aggressiveness thing.
It's the goalie thing.
The goalie doesn't give you that confidence. Like, it's Yeah, it's kind of scary. And I was just noticing some players on set pieces, they would rather go away from the ball than attack the ball. And it's also because some of them are not the tallest, right? But even the tallest, like, they're not the most confident going up. And
But Lisandro Martinez is not a tall center back.
but he's just aggressive with it, is what we're saying.
Exactly.
The Mexican players, what I've noticed, are not aggressive towards the ball, and they're also not at the right height. Cesar Montes has become like a specialist for Mexico in the air. I think out of necessity.
Yeah, more than
it's just
anything.
like, dog, you're above 6'1". At default, you got a header everything.
It's like just by average, I feel like he just has to be the one there. Like Edson is sometimes good, but Edson also can't control like the whole space.
And he's also not 6'6" like this other
Right.
dude. So I mean, yeah, you put it on your best center back, which is Johan Vasquez, and then he got beat. It's what it is. But I mean, overall, the Australia team is a good, solid squad. They made it to octavos.
Yeah, they had 6 of the 11,
Yeah.
6 or 7 of the 11 starters.
This is a good squad turning it around. They changed federations.
They did, but they changed like 6 years ago.
Yeah, so they're on the up and up.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're doing better. This is a good squad. They're getting players into better teams in Europe. So, I mean, a 2-2 is not that bad for Mexico, in my opinion. You should be beating Australia overall. I think historically Mexico's beaten Australia fine. I think if you're looking at it from a silver lining standpoint, Mexico flexing the ability to come back from a 2-0 is a good skill. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and more than that, the people who scored, right? Cesar Huerta had a great debut. He scored a banger off a mistake. Yeah, but you still have to score it.
Mm-hmm.
And also Raul Jimenez. It was a PK, but you need those as a forward to gain confidence to say, all right, I still can score.
And that's how you break the seal, right? And moving us right into the Uzbekistan game, Raul Jimenez scored a brace in that. Cesar Huerta, after scoring 1 goal in the last game, gets a chance to start, right? After showing that you're able to ball out, and he did really good. Cesar Huerta looked aggressive. He looked like he always wanted to encarar the defender along his side, right? Which is something that I feel like Mexico, other than Antuna and Tecatito, have been missing for a bit. Not getting it from Alexis anymore. Not getting it from, I don't know, Roberto Alvarado when he plays out wide 100%, right? So it was good to see that freshness. And I feel like Mexico fans fall in love with that because everyone's all about Cesar Huerta right now.
Yeah, everybody.
Because he goes down the line. He's aggressive. He's trying to get a shot on goal.
He's hungry.
He is hungry.
And it's so weird that at such a high level that you play in, like La Selección Mexicana, you don't tell your wingers, hey, you're a winger. Your job is to take on one-on-one, get to the end line, and give me a cross. It's so weird that we haven't seen that from the Mexico side.
The only one that does it is Antuna.
Right. And then he gets a shitty-ass cross, but that's another story.
Yeah, for real.
But to see it from Cesar Huerta and be successful, it's like, damn, like it's a breath of fresh air seeing somebody do that again.
Yeah, but this is what Mexico needs for domestic tournaments when they don't call the European guys, right? If you don't have the luxury of bringing Chucky, if you don't have the luxury of bringing Tecatitos in Mexico now, fuck. But like especially to have a sub player, if it's going to be Chucky on that side or Tecatito, to have Huerta off the bench to refresh is great.
Yeah.
Somebody to take Antuna's spot. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I feel like it's Uzbekistan. Like, you should beat them all day.
Easy. The U.S. beat them 3-0.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happened again? Set pieces.
Set pieces.
So 3-2. Mexico is looking good. 2 unanswered goals. Raul Jimenez's second goal. And then Antuna's, honestly, Antuna was a heads-up play.
Yeah.
He was just ready, right? And he got a deflection and it bounced in. But then in the 92nd, the captain from the Uzbekistan team gets a free kick from a weird angle and puts it on frame, and Ochoa doesn't reach it.
Yeah, it was so weird. Yes, we should blame Ochoa for not. It was his mistake.
He needs to reach it, right? Like, it's on frame.
But the thing is, like, he took a step to the left and then went right, noticing it came over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it was just such at a weird angle, and I just, as a goalie, like, that's just hard to judge where it's going to go.
Yeah. But
So-
it was a great shot. It was, but at the end of the day, I think your keeper needs to reach it, right? It wasn't hella esquinado, and it was at a horrible angle. So, like, to sneak in, I think it was I'm not on the boat with a lot of people on social media that are like, get him out, right? Because 8 months ago in the World Cup, we were all yelling, like, this dude's going to be there at the next one, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he needs to be there. He'll probably learn from it and do better next time. But
At what, like 37, learned from that?
I mean,
jeez. I mean, I guess
it's rough, but I mean, the thing is, you put in the next guy, and then the next guy does not do any better in Mexico. Honestly, we've been talking about this on every podcast. No U25 keepers in the path line.
No.
The backup keeper, I mean, Malagon is right there, prime and ready. He's 26. That's great. But then after that, Tonio Rodriguez over 30. Cota over 35. Talavera over fucking 40. Start prepping these next kids, man. Letting y'all know. I'm fucking pissed about this.
I don't even know what else to say.
Don't even know. That's it, dog.
It's just.
¿Qué más quieren? Yeah, give me a player that did good. Outside of Raul Jimenez. He scored 2 fucking goals, I know.
Jordi Cortizo.
He came off the bench, yeah.
He came off the bench, and he was different. He was a different player, gave you a few good passes.
Kind of reminds me of Cordova when he comes in.
Yeah.
They have a different mindset. They're a bit more free.
Yeah.
I like it.
And free and creative, and just has a higher IQ than most. Carlos Rodriguez, Charlie, can sometimes be that way, but then also have like really shitty passing or movement. But Jordi Cortizo is different. It sucks that, like you said, he's debuting at 26, 27. But I mean, he's a good player to have in your toolkit.
Yeah. Charlie, I think, did good from what I remember in the game. But the thing is, he just is not your difference maker.
Yeah.
And you need to be at that position. You're almost in like a 10. Yeah. You're at a very offensive 8. You need to be able to take the ball and do something different. And Jordi does when he goes in. Cordova does when he goes in. Charlie, not necessarily. I see him a little bit more, like playing a little bit back compared to where they're expecting him to do all these creative things.
And his passes are very safe.
They're super safe.
I don't see him taking a chance on a pass down through and making it happen. Like, that's what Jordi does.
If he was more defensive, more aggressive, I would say he'd be the perfect box-to-box 6.
Yeah.
But he's apparently presented as this offensive player, but it's just not efficient. It's not aggressive.
Not for the Mexico playing style.
Yeah.
The players he has around.
No, yeah, I agree. I like Jordi. You said Raul Jimenez did good. Super last minute entry into the game, but I liked El Chiquito Sanchez, and mainly because he got that last minute header from outside of the box. He like freaking yeeted himself at the ball.
I was like, "Is that Chiquito? What?"
That shit was going hard.
I was laser, man.
I was like, "Let's go con esas ganas." Like, that's what I want.
Something, no porque sea americanista, but I do want to call out Kevin Alvarez. I liked him getting forward and saying, "De aquí le voy a dar," and he took 2, 3, 4 shots. If he keeps on doing that, he keeps on practicing, it's gonna be a really good thing to do something different.
He was one of the few very confident to shoot from outside the box.
Yeah,
and he had a good 3. Just kind of ball bounces out to him, set it up, boom, tómale, güey, right? Which is, I think, something that this team is missing, that confidence to do that. On the other side, El Stitch Angulo was not looking hot.
No.
He was struggling. I've always thought he's a little bit too slow for that position. I like him at center back. Like, he was struggling. He couldn't get around his attacking player. He had one of the players that scored that was balling out against him.
And he was the one that, on his side, led the cross for the first goal.
Yep. And then not even to talk about Altiva.
Oh, Altiva, man. Like,
he had overall was pretty solid touch-wise coming out the back, but he did not help on that goal. It was his mark between him and Kevin, with the goal. And then he had that meme play where he tackled the player.
when he tackled like a linebacker.
He
just
literally
threw himself.
He literally looked like a fucking strong safety coming up.
He's like,
to
NFL
tackle.
just started to watch these moves.
He's like, yo, my fantasy team didn't do it. Watch me do it right now. And the funniest tweet that you sent over, where he said, ahí viene el Tiva Sepúlveda y lo tumba y ya vamos en segunda y 5. Basically saying 2nd and 5 after that takedown. I was dying. I don't know how he went head first for that, but yeah, that's los recursos se dicen, ¿no? Con lo que sea.
Con lo que sea.
But that was funny. It was memes, and it had to happen in a Mexico 3-3 game versus the 74th ranked team in FIFA. Oh, yeah. Moving on to a team that's not struggling. USA. They beat Uzbekistan 3-0. They look good in both games. Let's just wrap them up together. They beat Oman 4-0, and they made both of them look easy. I do think Uzbekistan had a stronger lineup against Mexico. Most of the players that scored for Uzbekistan, I don't think they started against the U.S., but overall, the U.S. looked good. Pulisic scored a late penalty. Beppe scored like 5 in the last 5 now, and then Timothy Weah even got a goal against Uzbekistan. So they're looking, in my opinion, really strong.
Yeah, the U.S. is very versatile, direct, fast, know what they want to do. They just look dangerous. And, I mean, compared to Mexico, I feel like they're miles ahead.
Yeah, I think the big thing for the U.S., I don't think the coach really matters.
No.
The squad is just so good.
They're so synced.
They're fast. Like the front three, what do you like? You could just put Pulisic, Balogun, and Weah out there, and they're going to be so fast, so dynamic. Partner them with a mid of McKennie, Yunus Musa, and then against Oman, they had Timothy Tillman in there. That's even more fast players, dynamic players in there, right? The Mexico team, it seems like they need to put the right piece and have more tactics to how tu pa acá, you make sure you drop and you're always right here. This U.S. squad is like, dude, put them out there and let them run.
Yeah, just let them do their thing, man.
Yeah, crazy. Against Oman, Balogun scored again. Beppe scored again. Brendan Aronson scored kind of a whack free kick. And they got an own goal off of Kevin Paredes cross in. But Beppe versus Balogun for that striker position is heating up.
Like, what else do you want, man? Like,
they got strikers galore.
They got a super young team, too. Like, these guys are going to be fighting for that spot for years to come.
At least the next couple World Cups, they're going to be good. The big question is, will they be ready for this next one? Because I think by 2030, I think they're going to be ballers, all of them. But the big question is, can they get superstar status by 2026? Will they all be primed and ready? No injuries, everything.
Yes.
And what the hell is Benjamin Kremaski doing there?
Hey, de paseo, man.
18-year-old Argentino-Americano on Inter Miami. He's a baller.
Yeah,
he's balling out for Inter right now. But I think this is the Messi effect a bit because he's skipping a bit of the process, man. I don't know if I'm sticking to the books, but why isn't my boy on the U19s? Why isn't he on the U23s? There are some ballers on the U19s, U23s that I think should have been there over him if they were bringing in an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old.
Yeah, for sure the Messi effect. But at the same time, like, it doesn't hurt to bring someone that young in, right?
And he's a dual national.
If he's a dual national.
Gotta lock him down.
Yeah, telling him, yo, like, stick with us, man. Look at the squad that we have.
Look at all the...
Messi's about to retire, man. Just come here.
Argentina's not that good.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Don't even worry about Argentina, man. We got you here. You got Orlando. I'll get you tickets to the Disney park. Like, man, just stick with us. So, like, it's perfect to bring in young players like that, dual nationals even more. And it kind of, like, also tells the rest of the U18, U19 players, like, yo, like, just ball out.
You're next up.
Yeah, you're here.
The U.S. did get a good amount of feedback for not bringing in certain players to this squad and to the U23 World Cup. Jack McGlynn from Philadelphia, who's been balling out for Philadelphia, got left off, and he came out on Twitter and was complaining a good amount because he's been getting offers from Ireland's the senior squad because he's half Irish.
Wow.
And there's a couple of other players that are in the same boat. U.S. has got plenty of dual nationals to throw around, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and if you do 23andMe enough, everyone's from somewhere.
Yeah.
So they're Richardson, a baller that's been in the U.S. youth ranks, just got pulled up for a friendly with Morocco.
Oh, for real? I saw that.
And he is still eligible because I don't think he played or something.
Yeah.
Or it was just a friendly.
So 3, right?
Yeah. So he could still do a one-time switch and come over to the U.S. or something. The
And
U.S. has got to be very careful, this line that they walk.
Yeah. And they got the Olympics coming up too next year, so they have to be able to stack up that U23 squad.
Yeah,
with good players, lock them down, and you're gonna have a line of players lining up for that senior team.
Spread out the love, bring in the dual nationals. The only American kids, they'll stay there.
Yeah, for sure.
The dual nationals, you're gonna miss out on a baller.
Yeah, I just want to really quickly bring up the Japan game. So they played Germany in Germany. And Japan showed him out. I think it was 4-1.
Junya Ito scored one from Reims. Ayase Ueda from Feyenoord. Takuma Asano from Bochum. And Ao Tanaka from Fortuna Düsseldorf. They got players everywhere.
Jeez. And it sounds like the ones who scored 3 out of the 4 are in Germany.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is a bunch of these players aren't even on City, Barcelona, Real Madrid. But they're everywhere in Europe.
Yeah. But that Japanese team, man, like they're so technical, so like I don't want to say mechanical, but so disciplined that they don't have to be in Barcelona, Real Madrid, or anyone like Takefusa.
Kuboy got 2 assists off the bench in 15 minutes.
He came off the bench. Like that's how deep that squad is. Like they played Germany and then they played
Turkey and they won 4-2.
They won 4-2. So he's showing up these.
That's also European a good squad, Turkey to beat like that. But if you look at their bench, dude, they're still stacked. They got Dyson Maeda from Celtic, who played the ball dude that played in the World Cup that was balling out. On the bench, he didn't even play against Germany.
They got Mitoma.
I mean, that dude's untouchable. Don't even think about bringing that guy out, right? But like, this is a great squad, and they still got some time before the World Cup to keep getting ready. Operation World Cup winners that they got going on there.
They were really good last World Cup in 2022. So I'm excited to see this squad again in 2026.
They're only going to get better.
They're only going to get, for sure. They're like the Ecuador of Asia. They're balling out right now.
That's true. Yeah, this is going to be good. And Germany is not looking great. They did win their last friendly against France 2-1, which is pretty impressive, but it is a friendly. That smells like a worst case scenario for Mexico, who plays them next in a friendly. They were doing so bad. And what started it all was them losing to Mexico and at the 2018 World Cup. But yeah, the worst case scenario was for them to beat France and start getting a bit of confidence back under a new coach. New coaches don't lose. Rudi Voller.
Yeah, because when they played Japan after that loss, Hansi Flick got
fired. Yeah, so now they got Rudi Voller as an interim. They're looking for a coach. And that smells like bad news for Mexico.
Yeah, so van a venir, se van a desquitar, van a decir, cabrones.
Remember that from 2018? That curse you guys put on us? All right, Cesar, let's go over a bit of the MLS, a couple games to call out. Our Inter Miami tracker, but no Messi. They still won.
Jeez.
Without Messi. Without Kremeski, too, which I don't think is that big of a deal. But unbeaten in 12 games. 12 games without a loss. 8 wins in those 12 games for Inter Miami.
They're still in 14th place, but they're climbing.
Yeah, they're chugging along. Yeah, they're not in dead last in the East anymore. They're in second to last. And now they are 6 points out of the last playoff spot. Don't sleep on them. That's 2 games.
Yeah, they're for sure getting into that playoff spot.
Yeah, just let Messi come back. He was resting for that Bolivia game, so he's chilling. And he just did some altitude training. Damn.
It's gonna help him out a lot in that below sea level in Miami or whatever he is.
For real. LAFC got another L this past weekend. They lost 2-0 versus Portland. 3 losses in a row.
They also got cursed somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like they've been shitting the bed everywhere.
They still have the same ballers in the lineup. The only person that missed on international duty was Dennis Bouanga. Yeah, this LAFC squad's struggling, and they got El Tráfico this weekend.
For real.
So they got to turn it back on.
On Monday, I got on Twitter and I saw hella LA Galaxy people say Las Levas lose this weekend. I was like, shit. Like, I didn't know it was El Tráfico weekend, but now I do.
All right, Cesar, give us something to watch this weekend.
All right, so this weekend we got El Clasico Nacional. Those of you watching couldn't tell, I got my America shirt on. America plays Chivas. You know how the Discord's going to be. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, join that Discord.
Que gane el América.
Are y'all recovered from the last madrazo que les dimos?
We just got a center back, bro, so we're chilling now.
Who do you guys get?
Lichnowsky.
Oh, they did get Lichnowsky?
Yeah, 3-month loan.
Les van a faltar manos para pelarnos.
Agárrense, chiquitos.
It's going to get good, man. Yeah, Chivas. I don't know. You know how it went last time.
Hey, you know your boy Alexis doesn't come through, so.
Yeah, it's going to get good. All right. Outside of that, in Liga MX, we got Monterrey versus León. Always a good game. The big thing for this game is, will we see Tecatito, who's coming back to Monterrey?
And then I got Newcastle against Brentford. My Newcastle has to pick it up. They haven't won in the past 2 games. They got destroyed against Brighton, and then they also lost against Manchester City, so they need to pick it up against a really strong Brentford.
We got Manchester United versus Brighton. Manchester United, with all the team drama that they got going on, it's not going to get any easier versus Brighton, who's overall super strong squad.
Then I also got Bayern Munich against Bayern Leverkusen. So that's 1 and 2 in the Bundesliga. That's also going to be a really good game to keep an eye out on.
In La Liga, we got Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. That's going to be a good game. Can Jude Bellingham continue his tear on everything that is La Liga? In Italy, in El Calcio, we got the Milan Derby this weekend. That's going to get good. We'll see if Christian Pulisic can come through against a stronger squad in Italy. Dude's been balling. And then in MLS, we got El Tráfico, LAFC versus LA Galaxy. LAFC's coming off of 3 losses in a row. LA Galaxy's been picking it up lately, and you already know it's going to get down in LA.
It's going to go down.
Yeah, and we also got Champions League coming up. Cesar, give us a game to watch in Champions League.
Milan against Newcastle. I think that's the group of death. So it's going to be a really good first game to watch and see. Hopefully my Newcastle comes out strong. I know they haven't been doing too well in the Premier League, but, you know, Champions League, it's a whole different tournament.
Arsenal versus PSV. Arsenal's return to Champions League. I think that's going to be huge. I think they have a favorable group. But I think everyone's eyes are probably going to be on Bayern versus Manchester United.
Yeah, that's a great game right there.
2 powerhouse teams from 2 different leagues. Bayern is a regular in Champions League. Manchester United making their way back. They're going to get, I don't know, a nice little welcome. Welcome back.
Yeah, and they're plagued by injuries, so I feel like Manchester United has to put up a couple prayers there.
True. All right, Cesar. That's all that I had. I want to shout out a lot of the fans because we're about to hit over 4,000 total plays, total listens on Apple Podcasts. After this one, I think we'll hit it. So if you guys haven't already, smash that subscribe button on any platform, even on YouTube if you guys are seeing this. We really appreciate it, and it's going to keep us rolling because we are moving. We're finally moving on TikTok again with followers.
Thank you guys for the support. We also are thinking of doing there's a tentative date for our last tailgate if you're local to the Bay Area in late October. I think it's October 20th around that date. So yeah, join the Discord. Stay tuned to all of our social medias to keep an eye out for that. If you just want to interact with us, we're also active on there. And yeah, just want to be thankful to you guys.
Thanks, folks. Peace.